getting warm, and the Gulf Stream, as it moves up into the Atlantic, is generating warmth which will ultimately warm up the oceans at the bottom of the earth. And that will in turn have an enormous impact on climate change. These are civilizational challenges. And information technology and all other technologies put together will ultimately have to meet those challenges. For what is significant and important is to gather information. And as I talk to NASSCOM, and I am here in these wonderful surroundings, I have to applaud the leaders of your industry to have started a revolution of sorts which allows the highway of information to reach every individual in this planet. That movement has started, but it will take years before it can reach each one of us. It's not just the information technology revolution. It is information technology, communications technology, and computing. This has changed the way companies work. If you look at the 20th century and you look at 100 companies at the beginning of the 20th century, 15 of them have survived at the end of the century. And if you look at the top 100 companies in the 21st century, I can bet that not many more will survive at the end of the century. What that tells you is that you are constantly confronted with change, that you are constantly confronted with challenges, and you have to evolve your solutions to meet those challenges. And if you don't do it in an efficient and an effective way, and if you don't reach out ultimately to the benefit of the common man, you cannot survive. So it's a great thing to applaud the leaders of today for having provided the beginnings of a revolution which hopefully, combined with other technology revolutions, will start solving the problems of the world. You look at India itself. Has information technology solved our problem? No. We still have 500 million people who live in less than $2 a day. We still have 300 million people who are illiterate. We still have 50 million children who are malnourished, the largest number anywhere else in the world. We still have healthcare that doesn't reach our people. We still have 92 children who don't reach college after school, out of every 100 that go to school. There's a long way to go. And the leadership must come from technology to be able to serve the poor of the country. Unless technology reaches the common man, technology will be like numbers of economic growth, 9.2%, 9%, which do not reflect the reality either of nations or of the global community. It is time for industry to forge an alliance. I don't want to say much more because I don't want to stand between you and dinner. But I would like to say this. And I go back to what I call the Global Innovation Technology Alliance. The acronym for that is GITA. I believe that this is the alliance which will ultimately win our battles. What is Gita? And I go back to our scriptures. Gita is the discourse between Arjun and Lord Krishna. When Arjun is on the chariot to fight against evil. And in the course of that discourse, Lord Krishna tells Arjun many things, including that when you are fighting evil, you don't have to worry about morals. But what is important is to destroy evil. And for that, we need to work together. Arjun and Lord Krishna work together. I don't know who is Arjun and who is Lord Krishna in the context of industry and government, but I'll give you either role. But the important thing is this discourse, this dialogue between government and industry, this global innovation technology alliance that I call Gita. And who is the enemy? The enemy is hunger. The enemy is illiteracy. The enemy is pestilence. The enemy is sowing the seeds of our self-destruction. The enemy is violence. And I think technology must come together. Instead of solutions to destroy each other, we must find solutions to preserve each other. And this is the alliance that I wish to forge with industry as part of government. I can assure you that in India we have the skill sets. We have the people. We have enormous human resource to be able to meet the challenges and to be able to provide the relevant expertise to meet those challenges. We have an appropriate environment, and we in government are committed to give to industry an even more appropriate environment as we go along, so that we can collaborate with each other in this great enterprise. So we have the environment, we have the skill sets, and from the industry point of view, we also have a huge market. I was with the EU leaders yesterday, I was with the German minister, and we signed a pact, the India-EU Technology Pact, in terms of which we are going to work together. Why is it that as a global community we are starting working together? If you look at the huge projects in Europe, whether it's ITER, or it's the Galileo project, or it's the GLONASS that we signed with Russia, or it's the FAIR project, there are huge investments going into collaborative research. The reason is simple. No one nation can solve the problems of the global community. No one nation can meet the challenges of the future. Collaboration is the answer, whether it's between government and government, or it's between government and industry, or it's between industry and civil society, or it's between civil society and government. It is collaboration which is the mantra of the future. And through that collaboration will come solutions to meet the challenges of the future. If you look at the multinational corporations of today, the largest corporations, you will find that on an average, they have 177 alliances with different sections of the industry, on an average. On an average, 44% of earnings of any industry comes on account of alliances. Even industry is partnering with other industry to forge solutions for the future. Partnership, industry, collaboration, civil society, government must join hands to fight the enemies of tomorrow. I congratulate the icons sitting here today who have received the awards, who have provided that leadership, who have provided solutions to meet the challenges of tomorrow. But I must say that in some ways leadership in technology does not necessarily have the same recipe when you come to leadership in other walks of life. In politics, the recipe may be entirely different. In the business community, the recipe may be entirely different. What we need is the growth of leadership at all levels of society, and then a sense of collaboration, knowing full well that in the ultimate analysis, to meet the challenges of tomorrow, the solutions can only be provided by technology, by basic research, by investment in science, by investment in our children, and by embracing a global agenda that works not for one nation, not for one community, but for all. Thank you very much.